Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less lethal self-defense. All right guys, look, I have brought some pretty cool stuff to you guys. I have brought things that nobody had done on YouTube. I have gotten products out before anybody else had them to show you guys. This one is nuts. Before we get started, guys, do me a favor. While you're here, you're ready to rock and roll, you know what's about to come because you know what's in that description up there. Go ahead and hit that like down there, and if you're not subscribed, jump on board because you know I got more stuff coming for you. Guys, I met with our friends at Paradigm. They came down here specifically so that we could go to a range to check out their launcher. Now, I'm going to give you a second to go get your popcorn. This one is a long one, and there is a reason it is a long one. Don't skip ahead to the shooting parts. You're going to want to hear every little bit of this because, frankly, guys, parts of it, my jaw was on the ground half the time. I am an intelligent man. I've been in IT for 36 years, okay? There's not a computer network or server I haven't touched. The guy that designed these launchers, dude, I was in awe. The guy is just a genius, and you're going to find out why. You know what? Let's get to it. We started in their room interviewing them a little bit about the launcher so he could give us a rundown. And man, did I get more than I bargained for. Here we go. Now guys, look, never let it be said that we don't bring you the coolest and the most innovative product. You guys know that you're going to see it here. I teased you, I know I did. But look who's with us today. I have David with Paradigm, and look at what is sitting on that table. Now, I dare you guys to take a look at this and not just tell me you're not frothing at the mouth, because we all know you are. So we'll just save that for now. David, thank you for coming down, man. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So, all right, now you get to go into depth. Tell us a little bit about the background. Where did you come up with this idea?
No, this all stemmed, I've been doing pneumatics engineering since 2009. Started out with Karmatech Engineering. We're still going strong. Karmatech Engineering is a paintball-based company, paintball-focused. Believe it or not, most, if not all of the air guns that you guys are using on the less lethal side are tied back to the paintball industry.
Absolutely.
So almost all of the valves that you guys are currently using, all of the blow-forward valves, those were originally developed in the early 90s by a company called Airguns Design. And so that's just been a trickle down in technology, and once the IP was released on that, then you started seeing other companies bring that to market in other markets. So,
and you've got a high-powered paintball gun, don't you? I saw that the other day, and I cannot remember the name of it.
Yep. So we originally started out in 2009. We developed something called the SAR-12, which was really kind of focused on long-range aspect for the paintball industry. The paintballs that we use in that industry, they're not typical paintballs. They're more like a shape projectile is what we call them. Trade name of First Strikes. And so they're pretty much, they pretty much have a hollow fin on the back and then just a hemisphere full of paint. And so they're very good for accuracy and range, significantly better than what you would see with a regular paintball.
Awesome. And then what made you just wake up one day and say, you know what, I can turn this into a hell of a launcher?
Yeah, no, honest, great question. It really came down to I wasn't happy with what was going on it was right around the COVID era, and we started seeing a lot of mom and pop shops are getting broken into, and it irritated me because you saw where these people that they had their entire livelihood wrapped up in these small businesses, and they just had to sit there. They couldn't do anything to protect themselves, and they just literally had to sit there and watch things get ruined. And things stolen. And so I'm like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna come up with We're gonna come up with a product that actually would give people a good solution to protect themselves without without actually seriously injuring somebody else.
Right.
And just kind of get them, get the situation to end, I guess, is really what we're looking at.
Right.
So,
and correct me if I'm wrong, but as these have continued to develop, you're gaining a lot of interest in law enforcement and probably a couple other markets as well because of what they currently do. And up till recently, that hasn't even really been a civilian thing, correct?
That's right. We really didn't kind of focus on the civilian side. It was more on the law enforcement side because there's been quite a few lawsuits actually because of they call it indiscriminate firing, and so unfortunately it's when you have two individuals or more that are in the same area, and instead of me just dedicating shooting at the guy that's actually perpetrator or the guy that's doing the causing harm, I indiscriminately fire against somebody that's maybe right beside him that is there peacefully protesting. So our goal is to be able to provide a more accurate platform to where we're focused just on the person that is doing the harm.
Right, and guys, I want you to focus on what he just said. That's one of the most important parts about this particular launcher, accuracy. A lot of you guys have wondered when I'm firing if I'm actually able to fire and hit Scully at those long ranges, and I am, but when you get beyond those certain ranges, at the end of the day, a majority of the pepper ball guns you're firing are modern muskets. So without having, and that's about the best way to put it. I mean, if you're a good shot and you practice, you're going to hit your target. But these give you that ability to hit on the outside of that range and still stay compact enough to use in close quarters. And I do like that too.
Correct.
So, well, tell me a little bit about you. What you got going here?
Yeah, so I'll tip this up, but pretty much what we have is a modular platform. This is a new chassis that we share it amongst the paintball crowd. But and so some of your guys have mentioned that there's a SAR-X, and what is the SAR-X? Well, let me explain what the SAR-X is. So the actual chassis that you see here in front of you, this chassis was truly developed on the LEO side, 100% developed for the LEO side. However, when you're investing,
guys, LEO, law enforcement, that's what we're looking for. So when he says LEO, he's talking about they were made for law enforcement. Just letting you know that. All right. Go ahead.
So yeah, when these were developed for the LEO side, the amount of cost to produce something of this caliber, you're looking tens of thousands of dollars in production molds. And so you have to, as a company, we have to find multiple outlets for how to recoup those costs. And so that's where we're like, okay, we're going to sell it to the paintball companies or paintball industry. We're going to sell it to the law enforcement, and then we're also going to sell it to the home and personal defense.
Right.
And so we're just looking at multiple different avenues, and that's why you can see those different similarities in those different markets.
Right.
That being said, there are complete differences in the mechanical systems from the personal defense and home defense side versus the paintball side. They're just completely different.
Gotcha. And just for, and I know a lot of you guys know this, but I want to clarify this. So everything that you make for these launchers, where are they made?
Yeah, they're actually made in just south of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Right. So, and you're talking about the uppers, the molds, all the stuff here. It's made in America, and each one by hand, guys.
Yep.
I mean, this is not something you're going to see on an assembly line, well, at least anytime soon. These are all made by hand, which means they're made by hand, they're tested by hand, they're fired by hand before they ever go out. You know whose name was on it because it was built by hand, and that's huge. So, well, give us a little overview.
Sure. So, in essence, just kind of a recap of what you had at SHOT Show. Let me set these to the side. In essence, we have the Bullpup here, PTX. It's modular to the point where we're using our standardized magazines. We can run different types of air systems in this. So this one actually has a carbon fiber, 17 CI carbon fiber. It's outputting at around 550 PSI. We have an inline on-off switch. So this on-off switch allows us to isolate the air system from the rest of the gun so that you will not have any leak downs. This gun, we've done testing on our regs, and they do not leak down even after 3 months. The first 3 months, you don't have any leak down whatsoever. We stop the test after that.
Gotcha.
We have proprietary rifled barrels. And so this current barrel that you see here is actually a 14-inch rifled section with a 3-inch ported section. The porting does a lot for sound signature. So that makes this gun overall the barrel 17 inches long. If you're running a aluminum tank and the standard 10, so we call it the 13-inch barrel, this gun is 22 inches long, tip to butt. Overall weight of the gun is 7.5 pounds without optics and bipod. So,
7.5 pounds, guys.
Yeah, that's with an aluminum tank. If you go to a carbon fiber tank, you're going to strip even more weight out of that. You're probably going to be in the 6.9 to 610 probably 6.
That's awesome.
6 pounds 10 ounce.
And just for clarification, and a lot of you guys, I know you probably know this already, but when he's talking about this gas down, we had talked about this in a previous video. If you're going to use this in a home defense scenario, you want to keep that tank charged, but you don't want to keep the weapon charged all the time because you don't want pressure on those inner seals. That allows you to pressurize it when you need it. That way it's not constantly got pressure on the entire system. That's huge. It's another thing that makes it great for home defense. So yeah, that's one thing that we're looking for is for the home defense aspect of it. I think that is probably one of the greatest. Now, talk to me about this modular thing.
Yeah. So I'll kind of do this in a timely fashion here and try to show you how. Okay, so inside the chassis we have an upper receiver reg assembly that has the trigger. And you're looking at this, you're saying, well, why is there a trigger on that? Well, that's because this upper receiver reg assembly is designed to work into multiple chassis, whether it's this chassis or whether it's a long gun chassis. So let me kind of go and show you. So typically there'd be 2 pins. However, this one we had to give that to somebody else at a previous position. So at this point, we have access to adjust the regulator, so we can adjust the velocity through the adjustment in the back, the brass set screw. And then in addition to that, we can also remove the action here if we want to maintain it. This is probably like the first level of maintenance that you would really need to do. We're going to take that out, and we're going to take this out, and then I'm going to set this to the side for a moment.
All right. Guys, are you watching how simple that disassembled?
Just a single pin disassembly. At that point, this is the valve that we're using, and this is a closed bolt semi-auto inline valve. Anybody that knows air guns probably looking at this and they're probably thinking, well, I wonder what that's similar to. Well, it's not similar to anything. This is our own proprietary design. You will not find anything else on the market like it. What happens when you pull the trigger? There is an internal valve in there. When you pull the trigger, the valve spools to the back, air pressure is depleted. The only thing that hits the round is air pressure. Air pressure hits the round, accelerates the round out the barrel. At that point, because the valve is in the back position, this spring that's on the front allows the bolt to drive back to the back position. When it's in the back position, another round chambers up from the mag. You release the trigger. Now the entire assembly shuttles forward.
Gotcha.
Okay? Simplicity of how it works. Now, let's go ahead and show you how to maintain this. Let's say that you want to go ahead and lubricate this. You just mainly have to take and unscrew this back cap.
Okay. And how often will you have to do this, or should you do this?
I mean, once the gun's broke in, I wouldn't think it's something that just when it starts to become sluggish. So maybe every 500, 600 shots.
Okay.
But we really want to see our customers using these. The more you use them, the more they break in, the more that we get good wear on these O-rings. I want you guys to also notice that I'm using urethane O-rings. We do not use any Buna O-rings, even though you see them here. We do not use any Buna O-rings. Buna O-rings are these black O-rings. They are notorious for being cut up and swelling, and they're just not a good quality O-ring. We use all urethane O-rings across the entirety of the... Gotcha.
And for those on the channel that are familiar, you know what he's talking about with those O-rings blowing out. So, yeah.
So, yep. So, literally, at this point, what we would do is we would go ahead and lubricate those. We have our own proprietary grease. Grease all of these O-rings. So, you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 different points of grease. You would go ahead and then reinstall this in the bore. Shove it down all the way. Drop your spring in. Reinstall your back cap. At this point, you're ready to reinstall it into the upper receiver, and you're ready to go shoot the gun again.
Now that is amazing. Now guys, something else about this that's pretty darn cool. The fact that this is fully modular means that it's also pretty easily upgradable, correct? Now, how many joules would this fire, generally speaking, out of the box without any upgrades?
Yep. So out of the box, we're at 350 feet per second with a 3.4 gram projectile, which equates to around 21 joules.
21 joules. Okay,
21
so
joules.
21 joules, and semi-automatic, of course.
Semi-automatic,
right? All right.
6 rounds a second.
Okay, got it. Now, there is an upgrade that you're going to be offering. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. So we do know. We've been listening to the community, and we need to balance between craziness and logic.
Correct.
And so And so what we're doing is, when it comes to air rifles, obviously there's two ways to really change the energy output. One is through increasing pressure, and one is through increasing volume. The gun operates right now around 450 psi.
Okay.
If we do not change that pressure and all we do is add volume, we just take the velocity from 350 feet per second up to 520 feet per second. With a 9-gram projectile, we can deliver 60 joules.
60 joules with an unbelievably easy screw-on attachment.
Yes, and I will show you that. So this attachment is, this attachment is literally just a screw-on technology. We are using premium aerospace materials with this. This main body is a 7075 aluminum. We've done multiple pressure tests on them to make sure that they can handle it. But pretty much by putting this on here, reinstalling it into the back of the gun, and then we will have another butt cap that actually covers this, because it does stick out just a little bit. I'll kind of show you that right now.
Okay.
Yep. Obviously, I wouldn't be wanding him with a barrel of a gun. If it was,
That's okay. I'm good at dodging here.
yeah. So literally, this just slides in the back. Now you can see how it kind of protrudes a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So the new buttstock will have a place for that, and so it'll kind of cover that up. So.
And that's it. That is all there is to that upgrade.
Yep. And now that is a 60 joule projectile.
60. Now, correct me if now, guys, listen. A lot of you guys out there have been asking for a more powerful home launcher. That's everything. That's everything you could want. It's going to be efficient. It's going to be something you can charge when you need it. If you're at the 21 joules, all right, look, at 21 joules firing a kinetic or a pepper ball round within inside of 15, 20 feet, this is going to be really brutal. But if you're up at 60, you're going to do some damage. I mean, that is a serious launcher right there. This is everything that you're looking for, all in one package and modular. You could literally build it to whatever you want it to be built to, correct?
Yeah.
So, well, let me ask you this. If you're firing at 60 joules, so what type of ammo would you fire through this?
Yeah, so we actually have a benefit where we can shoot anything shaped projectile, so anything that's around that 685 diameter with a total length of about 720, okay. So an overall length of 720. You can shoot round balls out of it. You can shoot the shaped rounds. You can shoot solid, like Grimberg rounds. Okay. You can shoot those.
Yes, Grimberg. He's talking to you, Kurt.
Kurt is a great individual.
I know he is.
And I much appreciate all of the expertise that he's brought to the table.
I gig and tease Kurt all the time, and he knows why. But don't worry.
Yeah, Kurt knows his stuff for sure. But
yep.
No, those projectiles we can run those. So the highest joules that we're getting are with the solid projectiles, the hard 9-gram projectiles. We're seeing about 47 joules off of like a 3.5 gram or 3.4 gram pepper round.
Okay. And what would you think if you're firing on at your standard 21 joule range? What do you think the sweet spot would be for the weight on the rounds?
So 21 joules, yeah, I mean like a 3 to 3.4 gram projectile is going to, at 350 feet per second, is going to get you that sweet spot.
Now, does anybody out there recognize that number? We've talked about this number a lot because that just happens to be the average weight of every 68 caliber pepper ball out there, which means this is designed to fire them all. It'll fire them all, and that's really what's great about this. And still, I'd be willing to bet that even at your 60 joule range, it's still going to fire those pepper ball, the same 3.2 without rupturing.
It will not bother them at all because we're not changing the pressure. And so how, like I said, so if we look at every, and it's not a dig on any other product, but if we look at every other gun that's on the market, it's an open bolt, right?
Correct.
So the bolt is in the back position, a round is chambered up into the breech area. When you pull the trigger, the bolt slams forward and hits the round, chambering it into the breech, and then air pressure is shot out, and that's when the round gets shot. The downfall of that is that bolt is hammering that round with air pressure. We're not doing that. The only thing that hits our round is air pressure. So it doesn't matter. It really makes no difference at all. We're shooting these rounds. We're shooting these pepper-shaped rounds at like 520 feet per second, and it doesn't even concern them.
Wow.
They come out.
And you've got safeties built into this to stop it from being overpressurized. Correct?
That's right. There's multiple safeties in this. I know everybody wants to look. I was part of the Chevy owners group when I was a kid, and man, we always wanted to hop up the cars and stuff. I mean, that's just what we did, right? But at a certain point, you gotta take into account some safety with that and overpressurizing. So yeah, we have multiple places in here where if you try to overpressurize the gun, it just will stop working entirely. If you try to put too much pressure to it, it will just shut down.
And that's great. That's actually, in fact, I prefer that. There's a lot of companies out there that, and I won't say any names, but there are a lot of companies that if you overpressurize their launchers, it will literally destroy the launcher, and generally in the hands of whoever's holding it.
Sure.
So I love the fact that you are building in second safeties and safeties and everything else for that. That's really nice. Yeah.
Well, I know people will be able to overcome them probably. I mean, that will
where there's
happen.
a will.
Yeah, that will happen. But yeah, by having these safeties in here, I'm saying you're going through territory that an actual engineer is telling you that you probably don't want to go there.
Right. Well, and A, guys, he is an actual engineer. That's huge. B, making a less than lethal is the greatest way to rocket us to regulation. And it will absolutely destroy the industry, and it will destroy a whole lot of things. There's no reason to make a less than lethal. 60 joules, unless you are firing at Godzilla, is going to be fine. So 60 joules is crazy. 21 joules is enough. I mean, there's a lot of people I've got documents of people that have protect themselves in that 20 joule range. You get up to 60, that's going to put them down. That's just the way it is.
Well, so part of the reason that I'm interested in the module isn't necessarily about utilizing the 60 joules on a human being or on an animal.
Right.
What I'm looking at is offering different options for. There's so many different things that can be done with air guns that a lot of guys may want to just go out and plink with these things and shoot like rubber rounds.
They will.
And repeatably, especially if you live in cities where you're not allowed to have firearms. There's a lot of applications where somebody could just use this to go have fun with their kids, shoot in the backyard, if they have the range.
Just look at it. Yeah. I mean, it's going to draw that kind of crowd too. Now, the next thing, we were talking about safety, and there's another thing here that's really cool, guys. I am not advocating you do this, so do not do what I'm about to say I did. On modified launchers, they are putting out a ridiculous amount of air. When you unblock the airflow and you're just allowing it to come out, it's putting it out. If any of you guys have ever had an unmodified, HTP 50, TR 50, whatever, and you fire it at an object, it's going to disintegrate the object. It's putting out, and if you put your hand in front of it, it's going to be bad. Don't do that. But one of the safety functions of this, considering this has got considerably more pressure than a CO2 cartridge, you still can't really hurt yourself with it. Tell me a little bit about that, how this works.
Okay, yep. So we have our what we call an ASA up front here, which is our air source adapter. Allows us to plug in any standard tank here. But then we're running a remote line hose back to the back of the gun. Mm-hmm. This is the upper receiver that's in there. And so pretty much that hose runs right into the back, into a connector here. That hose has a limited pressure rating. It can only hit, it has a safety rating of about 760 PSI. If you exceed that, it's going to rupture prematurely very quickly. So that's one of the built-in safeties.
Okay.
And then the secondary here is the anti-chop. The advantage of the anti-chop is that if we have a situation where we have a half load or a failure to load completely of a pepper round, mm-hmm. for instance, if you were to have that situation in any of the other guns, when you pull that trigger, it doesn't matter. It's going right through that round, and it's going to burst that powder at the muzzle.
Okay.
And so now there's a chance where that powder could actually come back onto the operator and make it a more difficult situation for that operator. Our gun having an anti-chop system, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what that does.
Okay.
And so first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to air the gun up with the push button.
Okay.
You heard the gun air up. I also want to tell you guys that I'm using this with the high the high power adapter here on the end. So this thing is capable of doing 60 joules to my finger, and I'm going to show you what it does here. So it's hard to see. You can probably see it.
Yep, I got
see the breach. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger in a safe position. Okay, the bolt opened. I'm going to stick my finger in the bolt. The bolt is open because I am pulling the trigger and I'm holding that trigger in the closed position.
Okay.
As soon as I release that trigger, that bolt's going to come forward on my finger.
Look at that, guys.
The bolt is open. I'm now chambering. So in a situation where we have a failure to feed, we have the magazine in here. I hear the failure to feed. I pull the trigger and I hold it. I then extract the magazine, fish up in there, make sure that the round's cleared, reload the magazine, release the trigger. The gun is now ready to go again.
Awesome. It's pretty much impossible to hurt yourself doing it, just clearing out or trying to clear it around. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so at this point, let's say hypothetically we do have a round in the chamber, and now we don't have a need to use the weapon. So we're just literally, we're going to push that button.
And that degasses.
The entire gun is degassed except for the air tank. We still have a round in the chamber. Now, situation arises where I need it. I literally just push that button. This gun is now completely ready to where I'm ready to actually engage with it because the round's already in the chamber.
That is exactly what people look. That is exactly what you guys have been asking for, just like that. Now, and one thing I'm wondering about, since we're talking about the modular aspect of this thing, you can literally tear it completely down, right to where you can get the right.
Correct.
You want to show us how that works?
Absolutely. I'll show you how to do this, and it will take no time at all here. So, first thing we got to do is we're going to pull this top pin. Oops. We're going to pull that top pin and washer, and if the bolt tries to come out, we're just going to go ahead and let it do its thing. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop these pins here. There's 3 body pins. And I like to use one of the body pins to help get that run up front. Because we have a riser on this, a rail riser, I'm going to go ahead and take that off. I'm going to stick that to the side as well.
I love the fact that basically all of the tools to disassemble are built onto the launcher.
Absolutely.
All right.
Last bit of this, I'm going to go ahead and unscrew the barrel. And then at this point, and we're also going to drop the mag. Now we're going to raise this. We're going to raise the action up a little bit to access the airline. I use that pull pin to help me get it out. Airline stick to the side. And there is the upper receiver completely disassembled from the gun.
Guys, you just watched a complete teardown that quick.
Yeah, at this point, if you got a gun that has over 10,000 rounds, that's when you could tear out the reg, and literally tearing out the reg is just a matter of using a 3/16 Allen wrench. This is your reg adjustment. Mm-hmm. Use a 3/16 Allen wrench and you can literally pull the guts of that reg out as long as this pin's missing. The back pin actually keeps it all together. So this back pin goes through the body and holds all of the reg adjustment in. So if this pin is missing, we can pull all those guts out.
Gotcha. All right, so for reassembly?
Reassembly. Go back at it. So first thing I'm going to do, it's just in a reverse order. I'm going to drop that up receiver down in there. I'm going to make sure that airline is sitting there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a front pin in. I'm going to do that right here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and put that ASA airline back down in there, and we're going to push these 2 pins in. Oops, that's one of the buttstock pins.
Are they? So they are a little bit different.
Yeah, so the buttstock pins actually have rings, which will indicate, but the pin I got right now does not have that ring.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back that far. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to slide slide this piece in.
How in the world did you come up with this design?
It only took 14 years.
Oh, just that 14 years though.
Yeah, only took 14 years to develop this. And I know this is terrible because it's on my lap, but...
Well, we don't have a workbench. It is what it is.
we'll put that in there, and then we're going to put this retaining washer on. Okay, there's that. Next thing we're going to do is put the barrel in.
So you can essentially maintain the entire launcher without a single tool.
That's absolutely right. In fact, I don't want you using tools, right?
Don't have to carry them.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then we're going to put our...
Yeah, I just noticed you've got M-LOK and Picatinny rails on that.
That's right. So, it's designed to work with M-LOK. So you can use M-LOKs all the way up front, and then you can also attach M-LOK on both sides. So that if you want to mount a laser, a light, you can also mount a QD, quick deep detach points for slings. Yep, all sorts of good stuff.
Guys, every time I look at this launcher, and I know you're seeing it too, I see something else that's cool. This is the result of a lot of innovation. That is amazing. Well, what else you got for us? Anything else that we need to know about these? Well, how about this? Are they ready to ship? Because I know what you're thinking. Stop it. Are they ready?
I think that we're going to have a link down at the bottom of this video.
You will have a link at the bottom. I guarantee that link will be there.
Sounds good.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. This is huge, guys. I'm going to, you probably saw it at the beginning of this, I'm going to try to branch in a couple of more of their videos, and I'll also link their YouTube channel. And by the way, I know a lot of you guys are, why aren't you going out there and shooting? Well, let's turn over to Stumpy here. Miss Sewer Weather did not agree with us today. Yeah, he decided he was going to dump on us, and we didn't want to go out to a muddy range, so yeah. But don't worry, there will be fire videos coming up. And by the way, I am sending home 3 Scullies with them, so who knows? It may appear on their channel too. But appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, it's rainy outside. They're not going to go shoot the launcher in the rain because it can't possibly perform, right? Whoa! Check it out. Here we go. All right, guys. So, we're not going to let the weather stop us. We're just not. We're going to come out here and we're going to fire. I want to give you a peek at this. Now, you see the launchers. Hear the thunder? Anybody hear the thunder? We weren't joking. But I want you to look down there. You see that guy standing way down there in the red and blue shirt? That's what we're going to shoot with a pepper ball launcher. Yeah. But I wasn't aware that this is going to start with a pop quiz. So right off the bat, we're going to change the bolt in this because that's what we need to learn how to do. Now on this one in particular, I don't have to degas it. This one will degas, correct? Correct. All right. We're going to put this on safety because that's just the way I do. All right. And we're going to unthread and get ready for this because we're going to get one. Hold that thought. There we go. All right. Now, if I paid attention, and hopefully you guys were too, this pin right here releases the bolt. Am I correct?
That releases the ASA.
The ASA. And I need this, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So what we're going to do before we tear anything else down.
Ready?
We're going to unsafe the weapon. So we're going to put it on fire.
Back on fire. Got it.
We're going to point it in a safe direction.
Safe direction, downrange.
Downrange or at the ground.
Okay.
And we're going to pull the trigger just to verify that there is actually no gas.
No gas in the launcher.
Okay.
Got it.
Next thing we're going to do, we're going to pull the pin at the top.
All right. And guys, let me show you that pin he's talking about here. Got a pin right here. That's what I'm pulling right now. Okay. Back to you there. Pulling that pin.
Now you have a washer on the back side that you need to get out. So right here on this side.
On this side?
Yep. So
okay.
I use the pin to kind of push the pin down in there.
And kind of, okay.
Yep.
Aha!
Now we're going to take that bolt completely out.
All right, out comes the bolt. You guys hear a little bit of pressure came out of there. All right.
Okay. We're going to take that, and then we're going to give you this bolt right there.
All right.
Now, when you reinstall that bolt,
yep,
there is a small port here on the bottom.
Okay.
This needs to be at the 6 o'clock position.
All right.
So that needs to be down.
So the 6 is that one right there. Okay, so there's a little small port right there. Down. Okay, got it.
And you got the spring, yep. Okay,
I got it.
Good to go.
All right, sliding her in. All right, so at this point, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of these washers. Remember he had me push that out? And while you're holding this in place, you can see where the hole is there. Put that washer in, and then it will hold that in place for you.
Now hold that with your finger.
Other one, we're gonna hold this here.
Push through.
Push this one in. Our pin all the way through, and you can see it came out that side right there. There we go. So that's done. We've changed out the bolt. Awesome.
You ready to air up?
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and air up on this one. Take our tank. Crank her down. Now, should I be on fire or safe for this mech part?
On this one.
Safe now, okay? All right, you guys hear it pressurize, okay?
I'll go ahead and index it so the gauge is at the top.
All right.
That's good.
Got it?
Now you can put your buttstock back
Lock
on.
stock back on. All right, and you said that the buttstock, correct me if I'm wrong, will not quite go all the way, correct? On this one?
Correct, because this air tank is a little longer.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Okay, so I noticed when you pulled the old bolt out,
Yes.
a round actually chambered up from the magazine.
Aha.
This is hot.
Okay.
So 80 yards to target,
80.
gun zeroed,
Okay.
you're ready to rock and roll.
Oh boy.
Look over there in that, right here. On this side, there's a hole.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll show you.
Gotcha.
So when you pull the trigger, I'll show you on this.
All right. By the way, guys, I know you're getting some rain sound. I'm watching the little sensor, but you should still hear us clean.
Okay. I'm gonna pull the trigger. Now, you can see through that window
Okay. That there's a round.
chamber.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna release the trigger in a safe direction. The gun is now hot, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
You can do the same thing on yours.
Okay.
However, you already had a round in the chamber, so you're ready to go.
All right. All right, guys. So no laughing. I'm at a weird angle here, but we're going to take a shot and see if we can hit it. Yes, it is raining like crazy. Deal with it. All right, guys. So. Might help put it on fire. Here we go.
Hit right arm.
Guys, I can't tell you how accurate that is.
Right between the legs.
So that's an empty shot.
Okay.
So your magazine's empty.
Got it. So the magazine was empty on that one. Guys, I cannot tell you how accurate that is. That is going exactly where I'm putting that round. It is perfect. All right, so wiggle that out. There we go. Got one in. Okay. Putting that one in.
And an AK, there you go, slap it in there.
There it is. All right, so now we are loaded. We are ready. We're gonna take that shot again, guys. And like I said, I am at an awkward position and I am still able to hit this without any problem. Here we go.
First one should be dry.
Dry
Oh, it was. It was hot. There you go. Oh, that's right, I chambered it.
A little higher.
I changed to it. Yep, there we go. Guys, that is 80 yards. I got him dialed now. 80 yards, guys. Okay, look. I'm gonna pause here for just a second. That's 80 yards with that round. That is a non-lethal at 80 yards. One more time. Come here, come here. 80 yards at that range. Guys, that's unprecedented. We have never seen anything like this and that accurate. Once I had that thing dialed in, it's like bink, 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 bink every single time to the exact same spot. That is crazy. So hang on one sec. Let me show you something else. All right, guys. So now we're going to move to this one. Now, look, 80 yards already. You saw it with your own eyes. You saw me do it. You just saw him do it with this one. Let's see if I can do it. We're gonna try to rinse and repeat this. Good luck. Here we go. Man, I love the grip on this. All right. And are we on fire? There we are. Guys, I am fighting wind and I am still hitting it. Every single shot. All right, watch this. Hold on. Victory! He's down. Every single shot, guys. Every single shot on target. Unbelievable. Hang on a minute. All right, guys, so while we wait for our downed target over there to be stood back up, we're gonna try something kind of creative. Now I wanna show you guys what we have loaded here. That is a standard round ball. You've seen this before. And you've got two totally different types of ammunition in this magazine, and they are staggered. So multiple different kinds of ammo. What I'm gonna try to do, if you look out there kind of to the right of where he was standing, you got that little bunker right there. Hopefully you guys are able to see that out there, right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna aim for dead center of that bunker, and let's see what we can, if they're in kind of in the same spot. I'm really curious here. The weight is gonna be different, so they're gonna be a little off. So, all right, there you go. Hang on one sec here, guys. We're gonna get lined up.
All right,
And take full trigger pulls.
Full trigger pulls, got it.
No, not yet. He's going to do a shoot. Okay, hold on. Yeah. What's the shoot? We're shooting.
All right. Yep, so. Okay, here we go, guys. So we're gonna aim, like I said, right in about the middle of there. Now that is about 8 to 10 yards closer. So let's see if I can get right in the middle of it.
Round ball.
Round ball. There we go, right there. Guys, is there any question of the accuracy? I don't think so. Wow. And it only gets better. Be right back. Guys, all right, look. You've seen me do it before, but never like this. 95 yards. That little red dot you see right about there is where I'm going to be shooting. I'm going to be sitting right here. Let's see if I can get this thing from 95 yards. No laugh. Well, you're all going to laugh at me. I know you are. No, you're not, because when I hit it, you're going to be like, okay, must have. All right, here we go. Golly. Wow. Dude, that is a long way away. All I can see is his head.
Yep, you hit his abdomen.
Right, there it is. I got him dialed in. Guys, that's hit. Hit. Okay. Dude, this sight is ridiculously awesome.
Do you think we should sell it to the civilians?
1000% yes. Guys, before I go to this next part, you just saw what that did. I want to describe that optic to you. I mean, let's leave the launcher aside for a minute, the fact that it is absolutely ridiculously awesome. And let me go to this, this optic for you. Once again, he designed the optic. This is not a buy off the shelf or a hunting optic. He created this optic. And I got a little secret for you, but I want to get a way to shoot a camera through this, because one of the ways he described this to me as far as sighting goes is you've got your typical sight marks, okay? So, 100 yards, 90 yards, so on and so forth. And next to them, you've got a little circle. And it's like an ellipse. You put the ellipse on the head of the target you want, and the one that matches the head, you move to the chest. You pull the trigger, and you hit. There is no guessing. There is no, oh, will it hit? You pull it, it hits. That's what you just saw. Dude, check out. Here's some more shooting. You ain't gonna believe this. Guys, I cannot believe that. That accuracy is ridiculous. I mean, anybody could hit that. All right, guys, so as you can see now, we have got our 60 joule attachment on here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna send rounds downrange 95 yards using that 60 joule. We're gonna get over 500 feet per second. Let's see if I can hit it. Needless to say, it greatly changes where you have to aim. So let's see what we can do here. All right. Next one's on target. Got it? Because now I know where the shot is. You're right, once you dial it in,
and they're coming out of there screaming.
Oh my
too.
God, are they ever? Dude, I'm literally watching them hit raindrops.
Really?
Oh yeah, you can see them shatter the raindrops. It's really cool.
Wanna put
I
those
wish I had a
together?
high enough velocity camera to, or fast enough camera to see that. Let's see if I'm dead on now, if my theory was correct. I own him. Golly. That's accurate. Again. Wow. All right. All right, guys. So one of the questions that we're getting is, now that we've got the attachment on the back here for 60 joules, let's see if what kind of velocity we're getting. I'm going right through the range, or the chronograph here, and Stumpy should get that. Hold on 1 second. What do we got on there? 513. 512. 513. Is that 513 again? Wow. By the way, guys, I'm not actually aiming, but I'm still hitting things down there. That ought to tell you. Wow. No, that's fun. So what weight were we firing right there?
These are right around 3 grams.
So 3 grams right at the 512 range, guys. That is with nothing more than the addition, hang on a sec here, let me grab Stumpy for you, of that upgrade. So if you get this launcher, that is something I would say would definitely be in my bucket list right there. Wow. You saw it yourself, you see the range, you saw the power. Holy cow. All right, guys, look. I gotta ask him this before we wrap it up here at the range. How the heck am I able to put a round through that on target every single shot in the wind and rain with an air rifle? Explain this to me.
Okay, so I guess the easiest way for me to put it is, the first thing you have to do is you have to make a platform that repeats every shot. So the easiest, and so you see this in the real steel guys too, right?
Oh yeah.
This is why they hand load everything, why they make sure all of their grains are all the same. So it all starts with a really, really precise gun. So we're making sure that the gun repeats as much as possible. We just showed that we're at sub 1% repeatable error on the shot. So what that means is at 500 feet per second, we're varying probably 2.5 to 3 FPS, plus minus 2.5, 3 FPS. So it comes down to regulating the air, making sure it's really repeatable there. And then the other magic is all of the accessory things. So the barrel, for instance, it's our own proprietary patented barrel. And how it works is we're actually, it was designed specifically for shooting polystyrene or plastic projectiles. So we, based on the length of the barrel, we actually changed the twist rate. So we're going as far as trying to optimize for twist rate based on the length of the barrel. So we run a really slow twist on the long barrels, and then we run a really fast twist on the short barrels to try to get those rounds up to speed quick. Last part is clearly, how do you engage the target accurately, and that comes down to the optic.
Whoa.
The optic.
Yeah, and guys, the optics, we didn't go into that deeply, but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna find a way to film what you're seeing through that. I have never seen optics like that. That makes every Joe layman could come out here who's never fired a launcher and put it on target every round using that optic. It is amazing. We will get into that one too. So basically what you're saying, it's the whole package.
It is. It's not just one thing. It's every aspect of the gun.
And
it's 15 years of development.
And this is something we're always asking for. Nobody wants stair steps, they want leaps. This is a leap. So, wow. Well, thanks for coming out here, man. This has been amazing.
Thank you very much.
Guys, there's a lot of videos coming on this. You better believe a lot. We'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, so here's the coolest part. Our friends, you're not going to believe this, over at Paradigm, gifted me that sniper rifle. That's right. We have it. The sniper rifle, the optic, everything. And let me tell you something, poor Scully is going to have some bad days here in the future. You know, but I do have a problem. What do I put it against? There is nothing out there that competes with this. Nothing that I can think of. Not even the FN303 is close to what this thing is capable of doing, because it was designed from the bottom up by an engineer. perfectly. If something didn't work, you redesigned it until it was perfect. What do I put it against? Well, I'm going to leave that to you guys to give me some suggestions, and maybe we'll arrange some head-to-heads. But in the meantime, guys, I got to tell you, King of the Hill. That's what this is. King of the Hill. Best of the best I have ever seen by far. Guys, I am going to drop links down there. By the way, one last thing. This is all handmade. He makes and tests every one of these at his workshop at his house. I've taken a tour virtually of his workshop. He's a one-man operation. He literally builds these himself. So do me a favor. If you want one, be patient. Know that when it comes, you are not only buying a launcher that is amazing, you just saw him, but you're buying, in my opinion, a work of art. This guy is manually doing this for you when it goes out. His hands have been on that launcher and he built it. So, which don't even get me to the warranty. You know what? He's in the chat. He will be watching this video. Ask him your questions, and I guarantee you he will respond. The guy is amazing. Hey, guys, listen, this is not the last one of these I'll be bringing to you. I can pretty much guarantee you we're going to have more videos on this launcher. And I actually, they gifted me the cool sniper rifle. I think I'm actually going to buy the other one too. I kind of want them both. And they're going to be centerpieces on our new stage. So you better believe that. Have a great week, guys. I got more planned for you, including the first new video on this. I'm going to be dropping shorts on this all week long, videos that are not in this video. So, dude, I can't even tell you how cool this is. Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.